Hello, greetings. Welcome to the Mowing the Lawn podcast. This is episode 7. Today we've got a special guest, Andrew, and as always, it's me, Mo, and my co-host, the lovely Owen.
Okay, this whole podcast was my idea, and now I'm getting third billing. That's pretty messed up if you ask me. You said everyone's name twice before you said my name first.
And also on this podcast, we have Owen, firstly, and then 2 other people that shall remain nameless. So those of you that are new, this is a lawn care podcast. So we'll start out by going around and giving some good lawn care tips. Andrew, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, my lawn care tip is that you have to watch how much water is getting into your lawn. That's actually a problem at my house. It's on a slope, so water pools at the bottom. If you have that, you need to watch your water, but if you can, you could also put down a French drain, which is like a bunch of little sediment rocks with a thin soil that filters into a pipe that runs it.
Something that's a little more porous.
Yes, yeah.
Seems like a good tip.
Seems highly technical, which we usually don't get on this podcast.
Yeah.
We usually get some sort of broad philosophical tip because I only mow my lawn sparingly and Mo doesn't at all.
Doesn't have a lawn at all.
I'm glad you guys made a podcast about your lawns.
Well, I just say you don't have to have a lawn to be an expert on lawns.
That's what they say.
That's all I'll say.
I guess I'll go next. And in the spirit of not mowing my lawn very much, mine is only loosely related to mowing the lawn. In addition to keeping up a good lawn, during the winter, it's important to keep up your sidewalks as well. And be courteous to all the people that use the sidewalks and actually walk in your neighborhood. And specifically, my piece of advice is it's like both an advice and a pet. People just shovel their section of the walk. The next section is still like completely snowed in. And then there's a section of walk, and there's a section of snowed in. I think you should just be kindly and courteous and just like at least connect them, you know?
Yeah, do the whole length if you can.
Yeah. And like obviously this is on like a case by case basis if you only have 5 minutes to just like quickly do it. But if you have the opportunity to connect the divides, you should.
Yeah.
If for nothing else, for your mailman that's delivering you Amazon packages because you can't be bothered to go out and buy things yourself.
Do it yourself. You're not going out there braving the cold.
Yeah, and also, this is another piece of advice, but get off your lazy butt and do it quickly, because the worst thing of all is to let your snow sit and then it melts a tiny little bit and then freezes again, and now you have a nice thick chunk of ice.
And then if
the
it
bottom.
snows a bit more before that or after that, then you have a secret ice that's even extra slippery because it's got the soft, dry snow on it.
I remember in college, one of my professors came to class like 10 or 15 minutes late, and when he came here, his shirt was like ripped and he had like blood coming from his lip.
Oh my god.
And he like completely ate it on the side. I cannot imagine what happened.
But
But
he had a bloody lip.
bloody lip, ripped shirt, like it must have been the most catastrophic sidewalk slippage of all time. And props to him for still making it to class.
Yeah, I would have called it quits there.
Yeah.
I imagine another way to prevent ice building up on your sidewalk if you have a lot of drainage issues is install a French drain, so water doesn't collect over the sidewalk and freeze overnight.
If you don't like your neighbor very much and don't like that you're shoveling his walk so much, you should take your sidewalk salt and not only salt the sidewalk but also his lawn to make sure that nothing ever grows there ever again.
That's also a good tip if like there's a frost warning and you don't have time to prepare for it. You can just salt your yard so the frost doesn't.
That's a very nice tip compared to my aggro tip of the day. If you can start small wars with your neighbors, I recommend doing it. There's only one life you can live in this life, and you know you should explore the good and the bad of it.
I'm going to start a war with Owen by moving next to him and not shoveling my sidewalk.
I know this is an empty threat because no one has ever threatened to move to Lansing before.
The prank would be on you.
Oh no, I live in Lansing.
Alright, my lawn care tip has to do with a pet peeve similar to Owen's. My pet peeve is when civilians own Ford Explorers, which are like the standard issue cop cars, and it's really hard to tell if it's just like an average person behind you or a cop. So my tip is that there's a slight differences between the general issue Ford Explorers and then the police issue Ford Explorers. The police ones will always not have a roof rack. They will be sitting slightly lower. It's not a huge difference, but once you know to look for it, it's pretty obvious which cars are cops and which cars are civilians. And also at night, maybe you can't see if it has a roof rack or can't see its stance. You can look through the windshield to the cars behind it. If you can see the lights of the cars behind the cop car or behind the car behind you, that means it's not a cop car, because cop cars will have a divider between the drivers and the passenger seats, and you won't be able to see the lights behind you.
Yeah, I'd like to add on to that if you see red and blue lights flashing above the Ford Explorer.
Yes.
Yeah, the Ford. I was gonna say Focus. I'm like, that's not. A cop would never set foot inside a Ford Focus. But if you see red and blue lights flashing above it, just slam on the gas pedal, and you can outspeed them pretty easily.
Mm-hmm. They are topped off at 140. The Ford Explorers, when their old Crown Vics, went to 160. So if your car can go faster than 140, you're good.
Yeah. How do you feel about Crown Vics? Do you support people driving those, or not at all?
Now it's okay because cops generally don't use them. But back in the day when they were like the only cop cars you would see, it was equally as annoying.
Yeah. If you ever go to the pen and I pick you up on your day out and I'm driving an old cop car and you weren't expecting that and you ask where did our old car go, and I say, well, it's got police grade shocks, police grade all that stuff, are you going to be happy or are you going to be upset with me? What if I say I traded the old car for a microphone? Is that
for a microphone?
Is that good or bad? Does no one get this reference I'm making?
No.
Okay, we'll leave it there then.
Maybe someone listening will.
What does this have to do with the lawn, by the way?
I mean, if you go to jail because you ran by a cop car, you won't be much of a lawn to take care of.
And that's good or bad?
Yeah. If you really think about it.
All right, so to wrap up the podcast, we're going to move into our auxiliary topic. We're thinking simply, we're thinking of better days, we're thinking of simple pleasures in these particularly anxious times, and I think of a lot of our lives, we like to just cast a bright rainbow, which maybe is outlawed by the government at this point.
But come and take it.
But come and take my rainbow. So we're going to do simple pleasures. This might just turn into a bunch of old middle-aged men reminiscing about nostalgic times of the past, but maybe it'll turn into something a little bit better, and maybe you can comment your own simple pleasures, and we can all reminisce.
Yeah, these can get specific as you want them to be. We've already done our pet peeves episode, so this is sort of a little opposite draft as the pet peeves one. So we're going to do 3 simple pleasures each.
Need a little more optimism to start off this year then.
Yeah. A little optimism never hurt anybody.
How are we going to pick first pick?
Ooh.
Yeah, so like we were saying, and you bribed us and held us hostage. It's the elusive double-double to get first pick. So he's going to start us off, and then we're just going to merry-go-around.
Yeah.
All right.
So what's your first simple pleasure, Andrew?
All right. My first simple pleasure is a little bit food-related. And but it's not just food. The first part of this is you have to be doing a lot of physical activity. So just the whole day, just some kind of something that's going to wear you down a lot.
Like you do this in the morning?
Yeah, well, no, just maybe even the whole day, up until evening. What made me think of this is what we used to do, Frisbee tournaments. So the whole day, just back-to-back games, right? Yeah, just tiring you out. Usually, I mean, sometimes we'd have a lunch break, but usually not really, right? And so after that, going and just eating a bunch of carbs. Like that feeling when you sit down and you know a bunch of food is about to come up and you're about to destroy it. That's my simple pleasure. So for us, it was going to Rockford, Illinois, being a whole tournament, and then going to the deep dish pizza place afterwards. Giordano's. And then getting that big, huge pizza.
A pizza that was way too much food to begin with.
Yeah, and then, but still destroying it because you haven't eaten anything all day and you've burned so much calories from
like being in the only mental state possible to be able to properly enjoy a pizza like that.
And just to add a little bit more context to this tournament, it's a 2-day event, and we usually went to Giordano's after the first day, which meant that if you didn't poop in between that big dinner and your first game, you were still carrying around that thing. It was still swimming down there.
It's like when people train with those like parachutes behind them.
Yeah.
It's essentially the same thing.
Yeah, it was not a competitive tournament, so I guess it's not like the most serious of things, but I do remember like how ridiculous it was to carb load like directly before I guess that's something that runners do, right? Though they carb load right before a serious run, so maybe it wasn't that ridiculous. The cheese is still inexcusable, though.
Yeah, the cheese isn't doing anyone any good.
Okay, I'll be honest. I'm like in a food coma for the next day, so I don't even remember the next day. I forgot it was like we did it on the first day. It's like you're just getting to that meal. Oh.
Yeah, I have a very powerful memory. My junior year. So I was a veteran to the deep dish pizza scene, and we were sitting at the end of the table. This is a non-visual medium, but it's like a very long table. Picture like 40 people sitting at it and all getting pizzas. I was sitting at the very end of it with the captain of the time, and this is kind of an embarrassing story, so I won't say by name, but I'll just say his initials, ESD. You know. And we both polished off our pizzas, no problem. And then some of the less experienced to the deep dish scene, would eat like half or sometimes not even half of their pizza. Yeah. And they didn't want to take it to go, so we just kept saying, send it down. And the two of us would polish off probably, 3 or 4 other people's leftovers. And the next day was hard. I think my vertical dropped by 5 or 6 inches the next day. But, team no waste, no food waste. You gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah. That means eating a bunch of pizzas after a bunch of
physical activity.
Yeah. So a great simple pleasure that can be done.
Absolutely.
Simply, all you have to do is go to a frisbee tournament and then.
Or just any big expenditure, or just like forgetting to eat all day.
I think it is a frisbee tournament. I think
frisbee tournament specifically. You're saying?
I think you're incorrect. I gotta add a little hostility to my day to day.
Coming in hot right now.
So the physical equivalent of a work hard, play hard, but only after playing frisbee.
Yeah.
All right, Owen, what's your pick?
My next pick is road trips. So, and this is the caveat that you're doing it with not by yourself and with people you can at the very least like tolerate and carry a conversation with. Like doing a road trip by yourself is horrible, and if you're stuck in a car with someone you don't like, that's also obviously horrible. I think that the road trip is like a very unique, in our like modern world, is like a very unique setting in which like everyone is like just sitting and like kind of suffering because like you're just like trapped in this metal box in like close confinement, and you can like do something on your phone for a little bit. Yeah. But that's you're gonna like look at Twitter for the 14th time and run out of things to do on that, and then you're kind of like forced to get to know the people around you because that's the only source of like entertainment or whatever. So it's really fun if you're with like your close friends and you can like divvy up the jobs. Like one person plays music and one person navigates and like play a bunch of card games.
Ask weird questions.
Yeah, but I think there's also like a pretty rich opportunity if you do it with someone you don't know that well. And over the course of like those 5 hours, you get to know them a lot more intimately than you ever would have if you just like got dinner with them or saw a movie together, because you're like forced to have a conversation for that long a time and like dig up the things you really want to know about them.
You're more likely to share something when you've got time to kill. And it's also, another thing I love about road trips is that it's a unique opportunity in such a busy world where you can only be so much in a rush. Like, you want to get there on time, or you want to get there at your goal, but like it's 8 hours drive away. Like, you're just there to kill time essentially at that point. And I don't know, I think that's a beautiful thing.
And you're also like forced to take breaks. Like, you do have to get gas, you do have to make bathroom stops, you do have to eat I guess, kind of, but
Yeah.
like and you can kind of like modify it to like if the group wants to take like an extended little lunch break somewhere and do that, that's fine, but you like kind of decide your goals as a group and move from there. I do also want to add that this has an expiration date, and like anything past 8 hours is like starting to be unbearable, and then past 12 the magic is gone and everyone's back to being miserable. And then it goes back after like 15, switch out drivers, and gets back to being fun a little bit.
You're in the thick of it, a little trauma bonding almost.
Yeah, and then that expires again after around 20 hours. And
But then I'd say around 48 it starts to come back.
It starts
a bit.
to come back. Yeah.
Man, those 48-hour trips, man.
Yeah, those
Those
ones,
guys.
the ones you have to break up into 2 days, you really get to know those people. But then I'd say like a 72-hour road trip, that's kind of, the fun is gone there.
Okay.
It's a little bit too much.
A lot of 72-hour trips that you've taken.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Why 8 hours? Like, is it like a hard cut at 8? Like it's 7:59. We gotta get it over with now.
I don't know. This is just from like my own lived experience. Like I've done the trip back and forth between Michigan and Vermont several times, and I think that's it's fucked up how easy that trip has become. It's about 13 hours.
Holy cow.
And at the start, it's like really hard, and this is like unbearably long. But like the more you do it, the quicker that time goes by. So it's kind of warped my perception of time and space with road trips. I think 5 hours is like the perfect amount of time for a road trip. Like anything in that like 3 to 5 range.
Yeah.
And then up to 8 is still like pretty good. And then after 8, you start to like, I really want to get out of this car. And then at 12, you're like, I really can't stand it anymore.
Yeah. Especially when it's a packed car.
Yeah.
Yeah, those long trips.
But yeah, there's no rhyme or reason to it, and I'm sure everyone has their own
Tolerance.
little tolerances. I kind of think 2 hours like isn't even enough.
No,
Like,
that's not a road trip.
It's not a road trip. It's
Yeah.
kind of like an annoying amount of time because it just is a lot of time, and you can't really like,
Yeah.
the conversation never gets past surface level.
Yeah, I think 8 hours is good because that's at least 1 dinner stop and like 2 snack stops.
Yeah. Depending on if you got a Ford Explorer or not.
Yeah. Yeah, or if you got one behind you.
Or a Crown Vic with that V8. Gotta make a lot of gas stops for that one.
All right, that's a good pick. My pick actually goes with both of these. It's something that I've enjoyed on both of these occasions. Mine is going to be coffee and donuts. I think that's just such a classic pairing. Something I never really got on board until like the last couple years here. But I think just it's a stereotypical pairing for a reason. Just the sweetness and fattiness of a donut with like the bitter crispness of a coffee. Just great. And you can enjoy it on a road trip. You can enjoy it after a long day of Frisbee. It's one of the beauties of life.
Are you a mixer? Like, do you stick the donut in the coffee? I'm refraining from saying the corporate name, but do you like stick the donut?
I do
in
not.
No, you're not. One
No,
of
I
those?
like separation of church and state for me. Like they go good together on their own, but you don't want them to get too. They don't need to become one item.
Yeah.
You
Are you more of a connoisseur of one over the other?
I enjoy coffee more frequently than donuts. That's more of a health thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think sometimes with this pairing, the shitty donut and a shitty coffee, it just goes together well.
Yeah. I will say, when I worked at the post office, those were like the 2 classic things that all the vending machines had, was coffee and donuts. And the coffee there was legitimately the worst coffee I ever had in my life. It was like lukewarm, very watery, and didn't give you the kick you needed. I think that's why you bought a lot of it.
Yeah.
Because they hated us there. And the donuts were also always super stale. And I'm not trying to diminish your simple pleasure, but I am going aggressive in this podcast. But I think there is something to that combination that like one is like very like bitter and a drink, and the other is like sweet and fluffy. And you get like both of those sensations satisfied with the combo.
Yeah, I mean, like a bad donut can make a bad coffee better, I think.
Complement each other well.
Yeah, they can complement each other.
That's something I never thought I would be into was coffee. Like,
Oh, really?
Because it was just because it was like, oh, it's so bitter. Why would I want to drink
Sure,
something
yeah.
that's bitter? And then it's just like gradually, like it's just like, oh, this is actually nice.
Yeah.
just one of those things.
It'll work.
Does anyone have... So my favorite coffee is like the early evening coffee when you have like a long day and it's like going to be even longer. And you have like a cup of coffee and you're like, I feel recharged, but I don't feel like buzzed. Anxiously like buzzed, but like just like a 4 o'clock cup of coffee to like round the day out.
Like a little power through coffee.
Yeah, I think those are my favorite. Because like the first cup of coffee, and this is making me sound like a caffeine fiend, which I used to be and I'm getting better.
But that's more of a necessity coffee.
Yeah, the first one's a necessity, and the 2 p.m. one I think is the worst one, because that means that like you're still working the day, and it's just hard.
Yeah.
And you just like need one to like make it a little better, and it's never as good as you want it to be. But the 4 o'clock one is like a decision that you make because you want to, and it's like the perfect time.
No matter how bad that coffee is, or how bad it'll fuck you up anxious-wise or power-wise, whatever, you only have to deal with it for an extra hour. And just, it gets you over the edge.
Yeah, I just like the later coffees, I'm just scared of not being able to fall asleep. And then, how about the 11 p.m. coffee? You have to stay up for 3 more hours to finish something.
That's a more special case coffee. You shouldn't be having one of those every day.
Yeah, I've definitely done the 11 o'clock decafs. Or like on a road trip and you stop at a gas station, you get their decafs just to like
have something to
get you to like
sip on.
To the point where you switch off drivers or something. But you're already in hell if you're having the 11 p.m. coffee, so it's not gonna make it better or worse.
It's the overtime of coffee. Right, round 2.
Good pick. For my second, I have another pretty specific one, and it's when you are in a state of extreme kind of temperature, and then you go into an environment that has the opposite temperature.
Oh.
So, like right now, it's very cold out, so it's really cold, and then you step into like you're walking for like 15 minutes, like to the grocery store or something, and you step into that grocery store, and you just feel the heat, or like where I live in Texas, where it's super hot outside, and then you step into the AC filled. Just that moment when you step in, like you go through the automatic doors, and you get hit with the different changing of the temperature. It's just like,
the relief.
Yes, just this is nice, you know.
Yeah, I get that. But what about? The thing with that is that it has its caveats. Like, what about getting out of a warm bed in the morning?
Oh.
Like the other way around. Like, because the relief is so nice, that means that when you leave that air-conditioned grocery store and go out into the hot parking lot.
This is why it's specific. It's that one moment right as it hits. Depending on how. Like, and it only lasts, like, if it was really hot out and you went into an AC place, it only lasts, like, 10 minutes, and then your body gets accustomed to the temperature. Then you got to go back out, and it's bad again.
I used to know people that when it was like really hot in summer, they would not turn the AC on in their car or anything. They'd just like roll the windows up and like headbang to like metal music to like get themselves even more hot. And then when they left their car, they felt cool because the like 90-degree temperature outside was cooler than the 120 or whatever.
I'm gonna need a name. Who do you know that does this?
Shall remain nameless, but was on the tennis team and kind of a weird guy.
That's insane.
Gonna torture myself so I feel a little better later.
I mean, if it works, it works.
Yeah, if I can add to the imagery at all, he had a minivan with racing stripes on them.
Oh, so a cool guy.
So a cool guy.
Yeah, I guess that's like being a Lions fan, especially a couple years ago, and just being like, we're gonna lose this game, and then when they don't lose, you feel even better.
Hedging your bets.
Hedging your bets emotionally.
I'm gonna bet on the Lions to lose, so when they win, win-win.
If you were to choose one of the two, what would you prefer, going from cold to hot or hot to cold?
I think I would prefer going hot to cold. I think that, like, the instantaneous of I think it's easier to keep the AC blowing right as you step into a place that changes it, that moment. Like, heat is kind of, like, it more radiates a little bit more.
Yeah, I get that.
But, I mean, both are nice.
All right, Owen, what do you got?
My next pick is going to be fixing things. especially like things you like are like important to you, but like maybe not that like. I guess I should say the other way. The things that are valuable to you, but maybe aren't that important, but you just like take the time to fix it. So like clothing, like if it gets a hole and you patch it up, and you feel that like you've like elongated this like clothing that you really like, that like, you know, like how long you can wear it, or like when you fix your bicycle for the first time, or like change your oil for the first time. And I don't know, it's definitely like a logical fallacy going up in your head. It's like the IKEA effect that I think that they really like, that you get like attached to a piece of furniture because you helped build it, so you get like a little bit of you in the furniture, so you keep it for longer. And that definitely is happening. Like I care about the bikes that I can fix myself a lot more than the bikes that I haven't. And recently I fixed up one of my Rock Band guitars and like had to take it all the way apart and move some stuff around and make sure that all like the buttons were clicking right. And I'm gonna be honest, I probably like extended this thing's life by like maybe a couple more uses because I had 7 extra screws when I finally put it back together, which is quite a lot. So I imagine I'm gonna have to keep doing that over and over again. But it still feels good to like know that that's like, I don't know, like I didn't have to buy a new one. I could like keep the one I had and fixed it. And I like love seeing people wear clothes with like stitching or patches in them, because it makes me feel like it lets me know that they really like this thing, and even if it doesn't look as good, they thought it was worth it to
it tells a story
along. Yeah,
Gives it personality.
Character.
Yeah, or even like a car that's got like a car door that's a different color. I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's showing that it's a human world. Things have been lived with. But I really like that pick. That's one of the huge things that really hit me with getting into biking recently, is just that the sense of accomplishment and the sense of like having control over the things you own and being able to take care of them in a sustainable way is really powerful.
It gives you a sense of accomplishment too. Like when especially if you're like new to whatever you're fixing and you're like trying to figure it out, and you like that sense of completion when you actually do it and it works.
Yeah, you also feel more confident when you do the easy stuff to like take on the more complex things. That's something my grandpa always said about changing your oil, is that like all things said and done, like you don't lose that much money if you go somewhere to get it changed versus doing it yourself. But once you do start changing your oil, you get more knowledgeable about like what the car's actually doing and more confident about fixing it. Maybe this time you'll like swap out the brakes, or like look at doing other like easy mends to it that will actually save you a lot of money over the long run. But it all only started because you started changing your oil yourself.
Yeah, it's building self-confidence, creating opportunities for growth. Okay, for me, it's when, this is going to be very specific, it's going to be an Aldi-based simple pleasure. It's when you're in the parking lot and you got your quarter or you have your cart, and the timing works out that someone that is either coming or going opposite of you, you can just do the quarter exchange for the cart. I feel like it's the self-governance that Aldi has created with the quarter, just in action, win-win situation, connecting with a stranger. I think whenever I go to Aldi and the timing works out where I can make someone's life a little easier, and we can just do a little quarter exchange. Always a good cap.
I'd like to imagine Mo in the parking lot holding a quarter and just waiting and looking at people. It's like, are they going to come out? Will they allow me to do the quarter exchange?
Oh, but it's something that happens maybe 1 in 5 Aldi trips, and it's nice.
Yeah, and I remember I still do always have my Aldi quarter in my car. Just you never know when you're going to need it. And when I die, I'd like to be buried with a quarter so I can use the Aldi carts in heaven.
And my coffin will be a reusable Aldi bag.
Are you
Put a quarter in to move Mo's coffin.
Are you going to be chopped up in that bag or just like flop in there?
I think, well, ideally someone would like just use the fabric and sew a new Mo-sized coffin out of the Aldi bag with handles. And then you can just lower me down.
You know that Aldi bag flop into like your trunk? I'm picturing that happening to you. Just like the whole...
And there's like a receipt at the bottom.
Mo doesn't get a hearse to bring him to his grave. They just put him into the back of somebody's car.
And And there's a giant barcode on the side. And the Gravedigger just throws me down there.
Ooh, if you want the full Aldi experience, it won't even be a reusable Aldi bag. It'll be like one of those cardboard containers that they put the produce in or whatever.
Like a salad dressing box.
That they give you for free if you forget a bag.
Mm-hmm.
What box out of those boxes would you like to be buried in?
Ooh. Honestly, forgot what the name is, but the Aldi brand tortilla boxes. I feel like it'd be nice, especially if there's like a layer of tortillas at the bottom.
Oh, there you go.
All right, Andrew.
Right.
So far, you have a big meal after a big expenditure, but only a Frisbee tournament.
Yeah, only Frisbee tournament.
And you have relief from temperature into a different temperature. What is your third pick?
All right, we're going, all 3 picks are going to be specific, so this is another specific. This is when you are done cleaning or organizing something, and you kind of step back and you look at it. And you're like, wow, that looks really good. It's not the process of actually cleaning or organizing, because that could be a huge pain sometimes. Like, it's like something kind of you have to force yourself to do. But after that, when you take a step back and you look, it's like, wow, I really cleaned up this room. Or wow, my desk looks really good now. It's like that moment where you enjoy it for like 2, 3, 4 days before it gets messy again. It's just that time. Wow, this is nice. It's clean.
Yeah, I'm particularly a heinous organizer, so I don't get to experience this very often, which makes it all the sweeter when it does happen.
Yeah.
So take note of that. Don't organize, don't clean things, because it'll hit harder when you do. That's why, I won't say it. I'll leave that one for the bonus pod.
$400 on Patreon.
It's life-changing advice.
But
mostly my life.
If your name's Owen, you want to hop on this. But you're right. It's a good visual representation of progress.
Yes.
Is cleaning.
Yeah, it's the progress. It's just the effort to get into it also plays a bit part of it. But it kind of sucks when you're putting it down.
Yeah.
You look at it. Especially hard to get it started. Like when you're looking at a big mess and you're like, I really don't want to. But then you see it afterwards. You're like, wow, that looks really nice.
Yeah, I like that. All right, Owen, you have road trips with people you like specifically.
Or just people you can tolerate.
Yeah, or can grow to like, perhaps, and fixing things.
Yeah, my next one is similar to Andrew's second, but I think it's different enough that it still works. I'm going to do the first, crisp day of fall. When you can really sense the seasons change. I mean, all the seasons changing I find in their own ways, but I think the first crisp fall just kind of hits differently. I think it's kind of my own personal New Year resolution day, because that's always been when you're growing up, the first couple days of fall are always the biggest change day, because you're going into a new grade with a new set of people, so you have to decide how you want to come off to those people.
Yeah.
And maybe you fall into your old habits, but maybe you do make some big radical change about yourself for the better or for the worse. And, I think about that a lot on every, crisp fall, where I was last fall and where I am now. And is it better? Or what changes do I need to make for this new year? And I don't know, all the nostalgia. That's when Frisbee started. That's when marching band started. That's when school starts. That's when all the, good things just, start up. All the good holidays start in fall.
Yeah. Starting out with Halloween, Labor Day if you're into it.
Yeah, if you're one of those laborers, could never be me. And yeah, I think that all the season changing are cool in their own way, the first snowfall or the first really nice day of summer. But I think the first crisp day of fall injects into my veins in a different way.
Yeah, and I think I didn't fully appreciate fall until I was done with school. I always associated the changing of that season with going back to school and focusing on that. But my first fall after I graduated college was such a huge fall for me, because I was this is really just the Christmas of it all. It's a good season.
Yeah, it really sucks if you live in College Station, Texas or something. The seasons changing don't hit quite as hard as they used to.
That would be awful. I can't imagine. You know,
Good thing
living
none of
there
us
for
live
like
there.
like 4, going on 5 years,
Ooh.
that'd be awful.
At the very least, you can look forward to having a really hot day out and then going into an AC building and appreciating that change in temperature.
See, that's
Yeah,
why,
you get to experience that more year round.
yeah,
than
that's
us.
that's
Yeah.
why I think about it. But do you think also the temperature plays a role in it too? Because I always find like that first kind of fall day is kind of near perfect temperature for me.
Mhm.
Like I'd say a little bit lower than 75 with a slight breeze, sunny.
Yeah.
It's like my perfect temperature day, and that's usually kind of what that fall hits.
Yeah, you're talking about like September, fall, sort of crisp or colder than that.
Oh yeah, like the first like noticeably cold day
Yeah.
where it's like 50 or something.
Mhm.
Okay.
And I don't know, like you can't wear your summer clothes anymore. You have to like throw a sweater on and wear like long pants.
Yeah.
It's
I'm more of a spring summer guy personally, so I guess my version of that is when like the AC kicks on in a big building for the first time, like at school or at a big office place, and you can smell like the vents opening up. I feel like
Smell
that-
the vents opening up.
Yeah, like the air is different inside the building. It's fresher. It feels when the AC turns on.
The air inside the building that's fresher than the air outside the building.
No, fresher than the air had been previously in the building before the
Oh,
AC
I
kicked
see.
on.
Okay.
Like it's a noticeable feeling when you're in a building when it's warmer outside than it is inside the building.
It's a crisp kind of feeling.
Yeah.
A crisp kind
Yeah.
of, yeah.
But it's one of those signifiers of the changing seasons that I resonate with.
I did never think about how contemplative the first fall season kind of is.
Mhm.
I feel like you kind of, I don't, maybe you're right with nostalgia, but it's just like something you just kind of think about stuff a little more when the leaves change colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also don't get sick of fall the same way that I do kind of the other seasons.
Yeah.
Like I'd say this point of winter specifically is like the worst part of it.
Yeah.
It's like all the magic is gone, and it just like you're just dealing with the like bad parts of
Yeah,
winter.
like we're still doing this. We're still sawing the roads every day.
Yeah, and even in like spring, it's like fun, but then you're like, okay, can it like start getting really hot so I can like spend all day at the
Yeah.
beach? But like fall, I never really get sick of.
Yeah, well, it is quite fleeting
Yeah.
of the seasons, but you're right, it is. And it's dynamic, too, because it goes in waves.
Mhm.
Like the first cold days and the leaves start to change. Halloween. All the
Yeah.
good stuff.
I thought you were just going to say Halloween and just say Halloween.
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 One of the stages of fall. Alright, so far I have coffee and donuts, an Aldi quarter exchange, and my last one is going to be a summertime one. You can enjoy this any time of the year, but when you're eating like a box of berries or like a basket that you just picked up at the farmer's market, and they're all good, but then you get that one berry that's just at that perfect stage of ripeness, perfect amount of sweetness, great texture, full flavor. Just get into one of those berries. Maybe one. There's only like one or two per basket. That's a good simple pleasure.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people don't like fruit, is that like out of all the foods, it's like the least predictable.
Mhm.
Like if it's gonna be like very sweet or very tart or how juicy it is, and you get like a mixture of all of the different levels of how good the berry is in like a single thing. But it makes the sweet ones sweeter, that you know
Mhm.
there's not many of them,
Yeah.
and you can't always get the perfect berry. You gotta eat a couple of not so good ones, and you also learn to appreciate some of the not good ones because they have some of the qualities hidden
Mhm.
underneath of a good one, and you can learn to like piece those out and still get some goodness out of them. What's your favorite berry?
Favorite berry? Blackberry. Like a good fresh bushel of blackberries. I really
Yeah.
enjoy. Yeah. But I mean, there's no bad berry really.
What about snozberries?
There's no bad berry that's readily available to everyone.
But snozberries are totally readily available to everybody. What are you talking about?
And dingleberries too, I guess.
Got any berry picks?
Are you
Berries
a
are
big
good.
berry guy?
I like berries.
What's
I
your
like
favorite
berries.
berry?
I think I'm probably going with strawberry.
Yeah.
I was a blueberry. Actually, redact that. I think that I'm a frozen blueberry fan. Like getting a bunch of blueberries because it kind of eliminates some of the tart that some of the blueberries have when it's frozen. It's just like
Also, the change in temperature.
Yeah.
Frozen
Yeah.
blueberry.
Yeah, when
There
you have a hot blueberry outside and you come in and you have a frozen blueberry, that's the shit.
I'm all about that temperature change.
Oh, is it getting hot in here or something? I really appreciate this temperature change.
About to go outside and get cool.
All right, well, thanks for joining me today, boys. Owen, thank you for coming, unnamed guest. And this has been your unnamed host. Join us next time when we come up with our favorite ways to make people mad.
Hey, that wasn't this topic.